This is actually an update story from Kentucky. And if y'all remember this, boy, I was so upset when I heard about these babies. Just handsome young men that could have grown up to become anything. When you talk about you need more good men in this world, and then you look at this, and I want to back this up just for a second to kind of give my opinion. And you have these beautiful young men that could grow up and become great men, and people rob them of an opportunity when you're talking about whether it be mixed children, whether you're talking about black children, or whether you're just talking about boys turning into men in general. I think that everybody needs to give them their full effort, their full attention, and do as best as we can by our babies, which is not what their mother did at all. Let me give you guys the fair warning about my let me give you a fair warning about my channel, especially if this is your first time here. And thank you. Here we go. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. So I'm using a website called WLKY.com. So if y'all are listening, thank you for the article. So that's what we're reading from. And this is going to be a final update. It's just sad to think that, this is just the end of this. But nonetheless, a Bullitt County mother who killed her two sons last year, has been sentenced to life in prison. That is literally the update. That's the end of it. If you tune out, I definitely understand. But for those who might not have gotten the details of the story, we're going to give you a little bit of insight. Tiffanie Lucas, that woman, if you could even call her a mother, admitted to shooting her sons, 6-year-old Maurice and 9-year-old Jaden, in the head at their home in Shepherdsville in November of 2023. It don't even seem like it's been that long ago. It's already been a year. At the time, she told investigators it was an accident and she had been manipulated on Facebook to kill her kids. And it's crazy because to say that one child was shot, you turn around and shot another child and said that it was an accident. That makes you an effing liar. That means you're a stupid bitch. And I think that you need to go to hell forever and a day with Satan, your maker, for lying like that. It's not going to take a rocket scientist to figure out what you did to these kids. And I'm glad that she was exposed. I just think she's a horrible person. She pled guilty to 2 counts of capital murder last month, which could have got her the death penalty. That's what I was wondering. Thank you for posting that in the chat. Definitely should have got the death penalty for that. On Friday, the judge decided to go for the maximum, giving Lucas 2 life sentences, 1 for each murder, which I hope that's consecutive. So if she gets a chance to get out on one, hope she don't get a chance to get out on the other. I cannot imagine the sheer horror these children must have experienced seeing their mother with a gun, according to Judge Rodney Burris. Several family members made emotional impact statements on the stand, and some went into tears. My heart is in pieces, and you know that have always had a place to drop them off. You took Jaden from me, and I heard every day, every second of the day. I heard Regina Rowan, Jaden's grandmother, said directly to Lucas, I want you to suffer just like I'm suffering right now. But she said that about Jaden, so I'm assuming that these kids had different parents. It's been a while since I've talked about this story, but it sounds like these boys had different dads, and they do look quite a bit different from each other. Either way, Rowan was one of 7 family members who spoke. Lucas's lawyers played a video to help show her mental state, which we don't give a fuck about, right? Sure, nobody in the chat cares about her mental state and what she was going through, y'all, with her arms folded. That is bad body language. That means she don't care. She's blocking body language. She's blocking with her body language. They played a video to help show her mental state in the days and moments before the boys were killed, including footage from a neighbor's doorbell camera and surveillance at a Waffle House. In the video, you can hear her asking neighbors for help. I need to have good people around me. I need family. I need help. She can be heard saying outside her neighbor's house the days before the murders. I want y'all to remember these boys had fathers and other families, other family members. She didn't want to give up the custody of these boys. Do y'all remember what hashtag we used to describe people like that? Hashtag babies for benefits. This mother used these boys as little bitty babies to get attention, to get whatever benefits, whether it be child support, control over a man, control over family members. But I think that she really did it for attention because these are beautiful young men. And too many people that behave like her only have kids because they do it for attention. Now, granted, I know some people that actually have kids because they love their kids. They do the best by their kids and actually doing a damn good job of raising their kids. I know a bunch of ladies like that. I actually know some ladies in the chat who are like that, who are damn good mothers and would never do no stupid shit like this, regardless of whether you have help or don't have help. It's a choice that you made to bring these children into this world. Regardless of if you need help, everybody understands that the level of difficulty raising children is high. If you can't handle it, don't have them. Otherwise, do right by those kids. I believe that this woman epitomizes hashtag babies for benefits. Thank y'all for posting that in the chat. Absolutely. Now, the defense asked the judge to consider that she was having a mental crisis. Boo fucking who. And was on drugs when she decided her sentence. Or excuse me, when deciding her sentence. He asked her to consider that. Well, now he wasn't on drugs. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. That sounded real wrong. The defense asked the judge to consider that she was having a mental crisis and was on drugs, and he asked her to consider these things when deciding her sentence. So I read that right. I think they just wrote it wrong. So yeah, they might need to change that on their website. Anyway, family called Lucas selfish, which is what we already said, and they said offered to help with the boys amid her addition. And I think that was actually one of the fathers. Hold on. Let me back it up. I think that's one of the fathers right there. Kentucky's criminal justice system allows Lucas to be eligible for parole in 20 years. That circumstance is why the family of the boys said that they believe justice was not fully served on Friday. It's just, we know that's basically what you're going to get until you could just say life with no parole. That's about as good as it's going to get if you're just going to leave it at life, because life is a technicality. It's just a term that means a natural life sentence is about 20 to 25 years. So let me give you guys the fair usage and then we'll go from there. We only got a couple of news videos. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Let me answer a couple of things real quick because we got a live chat. That's what the chat is for. So before we get there, do me a favor, y'all, please, if y'all are listening to the sound of my voice, share this video. Let's make this type of stuff go viral, like Ms. V's channel. We want these type of stories to go viral. We want to go viral together, all of us who produce content, to share in the memory of these babies and get justice. Let me answer what you said in the chat. You said that she planned it because she took them out and fed them their favorite food before she went and killed her kids. But let me answer this. You said, why would the judge do that? The thing is you really can only do the letter of the law. Like if they could do more, I'm sure the judges probably would do more, but it's literally that's just the way the law is written. And the law has to be interpreted a little bit different for each state. And sometimes you have to have a precedence in law in order to be able to give certain sentences. Like you have to be able to show that it's consistent with what other judges have ruled and what the actual rule of your state is, or even depending if it's federal charges. That's that's literally all you can do for the most part.
Life in prison. That is the sentence just delivered today to Tiffanie Lucas, the Bullitt County mother who shot and killed her two boys. Our Ian Hardwick and photojournalist Addie Hill spent the morning in the courtroom. And some of the family we spoke to said that life sentence did not go far enough.
Brooke, many of the boys' family members said during victim testimony that they wanted Lucas to go away with life without parole. After this, she's eligible for parole within the next 20 years. And throughout the court hearing this case, Lucas's lawyers insisted the mother of two was having a psychotic episode. That came back up during closing arguments, where they said Lucas believed her kids were the targets of a child sex trafficking conspiracy. The boys' families shook their heads at that, saying even if her mental break was brought on by drugs, Lucas brought it on herself. Bobby Baker, Maurice's aunt, cared for little boy Jaden too, and says she'll be at every parole hearing going forward.
The only peace I have in this is knowing that you can't hurt them anymore. And nobody's gonna ever be able to fix my brother's heart. Nobody can fix that.
Baker's brother, Maurice's father, took the stand in a last-minute change of heart today in the courtroom, saying Lucas kept his kid away from him since the day he was born. And although the courtroom, the family members...
Wait. Now, see, do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? Listen to this again.
Took the stand in a last-minute change of heart today in the courtroom, saying Lucas kept his kid away from him since the day he was born. Last-minute change of heart today in the courtroom, saying Lucas kept his kid away from him since the day he was born. Last-minute change of heart today in the courtroom, saying Lucas kept his kid away from him since the day he was born.
And this woman had the nerve. This is why I hate women like this. And she had the nerve to sit there and beg for sympathy and say, I need help. The man that made these kids is right there, and you refuse to let him be a father. Damn. She kept his kid away from him, but she needed help. This is why this is why what she did is unforgivable. That's bullshit to the max. That is bull crap to the max. He's right there saying she never let me see my son. Here's the cold part about it. How many fathers out there can relate? How many men can relate the fact that a woman knew that she had some power? I know it's not y'all in the chat, but there are other women out there like Tiffanie Lucas and other women of all races in the United States of America that know that if they have custody naturally of these kids when they give birth, more times than none, they have full custody. Knowing that the man is there, knowing that the man wants to be a father, and she's going to make it so freaking complicated. I want to cuss so bad. Trying to keep this PG. Godly. She wants to make it so freaking difficult for him to be a father. And I hate when people say, you should fight for your kids. You should fight for your kids. You should fight for your kids. My saying is I shouldn't have to fight for my kids. I shouldn't have to fight you. I shouldn't have to fight your mother. I shouldn't have to fight your friends. I shouldn't have to fight public scrutiny to see my goddamn kid. That concept is dumb. Who believes that you should have to fight? Fighting is a choice, and fighting more times than none is stupid and does not have a good outcome. If you want to talk about mental illness, why would you want a man to be a father that has had to fight for his kid and is probably going to be bitter and then go pick up the kid? What do you think a fucking fool would do that's mad and go pick up a kid, already has an elevated stress level when you're talking about mental illness, and then you expect for this man to deal with a crying, whining baby that is going to need your love and patience and attention when he's already on 10 from dealing with a stupid ass mother? Ladies, that is not logical. That is dangerous. How much do you love your kids if you want a man to fight for them kids, and then when he get them, he's already pissed off? I'm trying to tell y'all what I live. Let me say it again. I'm trying to, I see y'all feeling me in the chat. Y'all hit that thumbs up, please, if y'all are feeling where I'm coming from. I'm trying to share with y'all my thoughts and feelings because I'm trying to save other children and stop these things from happening. I don't want to see y'all in court. I don't want to see your stories in my email, in my inbox saying it happened to me. Jay, you were right, but now it's too late. When we have an opportunity each and every day to make sure that this thing don't happen, we have an opportunity each and every day before we procreate. If you already have kids, you have a choice every day to not be an ass to the person that helped you get that child, because it takes two to tango, and there's only two sexes, by the way. In 2025, there's not going to be no more of these 13, 14 sexes. There's only going to be two sexes in 2025, men and women. Just so y'all know, right? It takes a man and a woman, an X and a Y chromosome to make babies. And you don't put that other party through a bunch of bull crap. And I try to tell, and maybe some of my friends in the chat right now, if you've ever talked to me personally over the phone, if I've ever counseled anybody, maybe some of y'all out there can tell the people in the chat, tell the people who are listening, they can see your comments and tell them that this is not the way that I teach you. And I teach people to always keep that door open for the other parent. Don't stress that other parent out. If they want to be a parent, let them be a parent. If they don't want to be a parent, then don't force them to. Don't guilt trip them. Just leave them alone and move on like a mature adult, like a mature parent. I don't think people truly understand the gravity of you putting out that bad energy, because that's what it is. And you put that bad energy out there to the dad, that energy is going to spread, it's going to hit your kids, and it's going to affect you all. And it is ugly and it is nasty. It has a horrible effect. It's like creating waves in the water, and that energy never dies. I'm just asking for people to start putting, you say you remember this story? Thank you. I'm just asking for people to put better energy out there in the world, because it's a choice.
And although the courtroom, the family members of those boys applauded as Lucas went away to serve that life sentence. Maurice's father took the stand in a last-minute change of heart today in the courtroom, saying Lucas kept his kid away from him since the day he was born. And although the courtroom, the family members of those boys applauded as Lucas went away to serve that life sentence behind bars, they know their pursuit of justice will last as long as she's having those parole hearings. For now, I'm live in Shepherdsville. Ian Hardwick, WHAS 11, on your side.
Court will adjudge the defendant guilty.
I'm gonna let y'all hear a little bit from the judge. We got two more videos. If y'all are listening, please hit that thumbs up, or you can leave a comment. That'll help share this story. If more y'all can do that, that'll help us out quite a bit. Here we go.
The offense of murder and fix her sentence at life in prison. This time, the court will order that the Sheriff's Department deliver the defendant to the custody of the Corrections Cabinet for service of her sentence of imprisonment. That's all for today. Court will be adjourned.
Applause afterwards as you got the word from the judge today. New tonight, life in prison for Tiffanie Lucas. It comes after she pleaded guilty to murdering both of her sons, Maurice Baker and Jaden Howard. That was a little over a year ago on November 8th, 2023. The boys' family gathering in the courtroom today, speaking directly to Lucas, telling her how their lives have been changed forever. It's our top story. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. Ian Hardwick and photojournalist Addie Hill spoke with one family member who says she'll be there when Lucas is up for parole.
Tiffanie Lucas looks ahead at life in prison after pleading guilty to murdering her young boys, Maurice Baker Jr. and Jaden Howard. From Baker's grandmother to heartbroken cousins and Howard's stepmother, the families faced Lucas down ahead of her sentencing.
I have been in Jaden's life since he was 6 months old. While I'm thankful for the time I had with him, it was too short. My daughter, Charlie Howard, is 4 years old, and she has already lost her father, and he took her only brother.
The testimony was enough to bring Lucas to tears. After shooting her sons, Lucas collapsed in the neighbor's driveway where she stayed as officers put her in handcuffs. When she was brought to the Bullitt County Sheriff's Office, she said she'd shot herself in the head. Her defense lawyers say that was Lucas's plan.
Even at her lowest, when she thought she was protecting them from an imminent abduction and lifetime of horrific trauma, she never imagined a life without them. But the gun jammed when she turned it on herself.
Bobby Baker, who loved both boys, told Lucas she'll be at her parole hearing 20 years from now.
In 20 years, she'll be about 52. You can still have kids at 52.
Look, I empathize with you, ma'am. No, you're sad, and I know you're just speaking emotionally. Her ovaries are going to be rotten like raisins that have been left out in the sun. No, she ain't gonna be able to produce kids at 50. That's men, ma'am. I don't know who taught you about biology, but that ain't it. I'm sorry, I ain't trying to be disrespectful. But I don't like people just saying just any damn thing. That's just not smart. In 20 years, she'll be 50. She could still have... Let me stop. Oh, Lord. I'm pretty sure she ain't gonna contact me and send me a mad email. But damn, that's just not true. It's just not.
She'll be at her parole hearing 20 years from now.
In 20 years, she'll be about 52. You can still have kids at 52.
Who? Who's going to have kids at 52? Who? Tell me how many 52-year-olds in history have ever gotten pregnant and gave birth at 50. Okay, look. Now, yes, okay. I retract what I said. Yes, she could have kids at 52. You show damn right. Let's go. So, ma'am, I apologize. Use right, y'all. Use right. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I promise. I'm being a little facetious.
Once again, I feel like they didn't get the justice they deserved.
Life with parole was the maximum sentence the judge could grant in this case. The prosecutor said,
I guess if anybody could get pregnant at 52, I guess Tiffanie Lucas probably would be able to. I wouldn't put it past her. Just saying. She might have some special genes.
in order to go without parole, it would have had to have been tried by a jury. In Shepherdsville, I'm Ian Hardwick for WHAS 11 on your side.
Y'all don't take what I say too personally in the chat, okay? Y'all know I can be a little bit of a butthole sometimes, and we're not going to always agree, but I don't want y'all to stay mad at me, because that's just, y'all know this has been me for the past 5-6 years. This is how I get down. I just speak my mind. Anyway, let's go. You said no man will want to have kids with a baby killer. Here's the thing, the special thing about men. Men will stick their dick in anything that got a heartbeat. And there are just some nasty, disgusting men out there that would stick their dick in something that ain't even got a heartbeat. Men are just disgusting. Men are just carnal in general, not all. Don't put it past the man to do that. They just want some sex, okay? Men are very carnal in general, not all. Don't put it past the man to do some nasty crap. Just saying. Men actually know how to compartmentalize. They can compartmentalize and say, I wanted some, look, Miss V, I'm sorry. I wanted some sex. I don't want to have no kid. Men are very good at compartmentalizing. They want sex, but they don't want no kids.
Inside this courthouse on Friday.
Matter of fact, you said there was somebody at 57 who had a healthy baby. I want you to think about how often that happens. Not likely. Little to none. The chances of that happening, there's a good chance that Satan be able to make an ice cube last in hell before a woman at 57 could have another kid or have any kids. Just not likely.
Tiffanie Lucas's sentencing hearing was emotional and heartbreaking as loved ones became the voices for Maurice and Jaden, who because of their mother no longer have their own. Nearly a year to the day, Tiffanie Lucas murdered her two sons at their Bullitt County home. The 33-year-old was sentenced to life in prison. Lucas pleaded guilty in October to 2 capital murder charges.
The court will adjudge the defendant guilty of the offense of murder and fix her sentence at life in prison.
Family of Maurice, 6, and Jaden, 9, gave tearful and enraged testimony at the sentencing hearing.
You took him from me, and I hurt every day. Every second of the day, I hurt.
They called Lucas selfish, evil, and a monster for shooting and killing the very children she was supposed to love and protect.
I often see these court shows where the defendants are forgiven by the victim's family, but not today, not by me. I will never forgive you.
The defense, while not excusing Lucas's brutal behavior, for the first time in court showed surveillance video of her mental state and hallucinations from drugs just one day before the murders. She's heard telling a neighbor, "I need you. God is talking to me. I need help." Another video from inside a Waffle House shows Lucas and the boys in one of their final moments. A server says Lucas looked like she was in her own world and couldn't comprehend what was going on.
The only peace I have in this is knowing that you can't hurt them anymore. And I'm pissed.
As Lucas heads to prison, the boy's aunt, Bobby Baker, says she was hopeful Lucas would not have the option to get out. From Bullitt County, Alexis Matthews, WLKY News.
You said 1% chance of naturally occurring after 50 years old, but with IVF, anything is possible. I would tell y'all this. A 1% chance is lower than a bow-legged caterpillar, and that's pretty damn low. So, yeah. I would just say let's not test Mother Nature. Mother Nature pretty good at what she do. But let's get back to this. In all seriousness, I'm being a little facetious, by the way. You know, I just love engaging with you guys and really just trying to have a productive conversation about these stories. And just to get people to understand, doing drugs is a choice. Again, it's a choice. Addicted or not, don't do drugs. You do drugs, you just got to face the consequences for what you do at the end of the day. Well, you know how they say there's one druggie in every family or whatever the case is? Maybe a lot of us can relate to that and know that sometimes you have to castigate, excoriate your own family members behind their bad choices behind drugs. I mean, it's like we all got to go through that. But at the same time, I just don't have a lot of heart. I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who hurt, murder, and abuse kids. I don't care what they're going through, what they done smoked, snorted, shot up their arm, or stuck up their butthole, or whatever the case is that made them hallucinate. I don't really care. That's a choice that she made. And then to sit there and say, to add insult to injury, to stick your finger in the proverbial wound, to say that you didn't have no help when you had a man in the courtroom that begged you to see his kid, and you was like, nope, nope, yous can't see your babies. You was not a consistent father. Yous didn't pay enough child support, y'all. You's got another girlfriend. I don't want your girlfriend to be around my child, y'all. Whatever it is, it's all an excuse and it's all inexcusable. At the end of the day, she shouldn't have got no parole. To these young princes, R.I.P. Guarantee you they was going to grow up and become something extremely special. But we'll never know that because we were robbed of that opportunity by her mother. But thank y'all for listening to this saga, and that's going to be the end of this. And I hope some people can learn a lesson from this, use this as a cautionary tale so that we don't have this happen again. She's just a horrible person. That's what you got to, that's what her legacy is. She's a horrible person, horrible mother, and that you can never repay. All right. Thank you.